Over the top of the little pass, now work our way down here to the road. See why they call it Cathedral Valley. Dang, it's a big old hole. Oh, so cool. Temple of the Sun over there. Just barely over 69 miles. Hey everyone, welcome to another grand adventure with MinerBiker. I am right in the thick of it, near the middle of this ride right now. I am at the Cathedral Valley overlook in Capitol Reef National Park. And yes, we're riding the Cathedral Valley Loop, roughly 70-ish miles. But I'm not doing it like most people do. They usually do it in a 2-day bikepacking trip, which would be awesome. But for this particular trip, I'm doing it in one single day. So quite epic out here, perfect, gorgeous spring day out here. Got Cathedral Valley down there below me. So anyways, we'll jump back to the beginning of this epic ride and bring you along for the adventure on the Cathedral Valley Loop. Here we go. All right, starting off Caneville. Take this little cutoff route. It'll connect this bottom end of the loop without having to ride on the highway and cross the river. Old Chili's starting out. We'll get going. Cool old bridge. Let me pass you stupid cows. I'm not trying to chase you, I'm trying to get past you. Idiot things. Definitely feels a lot different with all the weight on the bike, nothing on your body. It's nice. Definitely nice, especially for a ride like this. Sure makes the bike feel and handle a lot different though when it's got all the weight on it. Turn off to the south here for a second. Or angle to the south. Here's the Henry Mountains right over there. Just to the southeast. Climb up over this little pass here. A little bit of a hole, but it doesn't go anywhere. Maybe 30, 40 feet. Over the top of the little pass, now work our way down here to the road on the other side. Alright, so that's the little connecting route that you can take to avoid the highway stretch and the river crossing. Now we're on the road that makes up the west side of the Cathedral Valley Loop. Now we head generally northwest-ish for probably 25 miles or so. Probably the most barren stretch of road the whole day right here. Nice hard packed dry clay though. basically no rolling resistance at all. Pretty gradual uphill, so at least you can cruise pretty good on it. Check out the old drill rig. I'm gonna swing in there and check that out. Hey, that's old school right there. Old drill rig. Hey, that's pretty cool looking. Yeah, this whole thing's pretty cool. Old truck. With whole engine and everything. That is way cool. Water tank partially buried in the ground. And this old drill rig got its engine and the old flywheel and stuff there, clutch and brake kind of system. The bigger flywheel, that big old sucker, the old wood flywheel. Different gears and stuff like that, and then the mast up there laid down on top of it. Can up the mast, the pulleys and stuff. All the levers and everything here where the operators would have worked it from. That big old camshaft. That's cool as heck. Way cool old piece of machinery out here. Well, we're not out in the flat anymore. All this bentonite clay out here. Nice when it's dry. Don't touch that stuff when it's wet. We come back down the valley. We just came up over towards the Henrys. This all over here is all Capitol Reef National Park, and then Boulder Mountain up above it. All this gray and red and white colored bentonite out here. So cool. Lots of jet streams too. Well, we can find some whole different geology again. Gradually working our way up through all sorts of layers and formations. Keep switching sides of the road to avoid the worst of the sandy washboards. Okay, we'll make a little side trip to the lower South Desert overlook. Then we'll come back and continue. Gotta come check out the overlook. Well, since they don't want vehicles, according to that sign, including non-motorized bicycles, beyond this point, we'll walk out to the overlook. Should be fine. A little walk will actually feel good right now. Alright. There's the overlook. I believe that big thing right there in front of us is called Jailhouse Rock. Old scruffy road cutting down there below us. That's all closed. I mean, you could hike down in there if you want to. Definitely closed to any kind of vehicle access, including bicycles. That's Jailhouse Rock out there. And you got all the sandstone reef of Capitol Reef. We're actually in Capitol Reef National Park right now. And that's Thousand Lake Mountain right there. All these little formations and hoodoos and stuff along here. Those are cool looking. Way cool. Very cool little overlook. Definitely worth the side trip. Now back to bike. Probably have a little snack. Then we'll head back down the side road to the main loop and continue on. Now we're back out of the park. Alright, back on the main road. Excellent little side trip. Some kind of conglomerate rock slabs through here. Entering Capitol Reef National Park. Sign said 12 more miles to the Cathedral Valley campground, which is basically the top of the loop. So far it is so nice not having extra weight of the backpack on the body. Riding like this, especially on a day this long, it sure is nice having all the water and pack and everything on the bike. Water! I'm gonna drink it, but it's water. If you were really desperate, I'm sure you could filter and purify it and drink it. Thankfully, I ain't desperate. I got plenty. I cannot have picked a better day to do this. Temperatures, everything's perfect. Road's a little sandy in some spots, but for the most part, the road's in pretty good shape. Even the sandy spots, the 3-inch plus tires, maybe not too bad. Snowy Thousand Lake Mountain there straight ahead of us. A lot closer than it was earlier. There's some cool terrain down in here. Or up in here, I guess we're climbing, not going down. We're climbing good now. A little detour here to the South Desert overlook. Just a little further up the road to Upper Cathedral Valley overlook. And then we're at the top of the loop and drop off around in the Cathedral Valley and start heading back down. No bicycles, it says. That's careful, good to walk them in anyways. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's quite a view. Thousand Lake right there. That's Hill Guard sticking up over there. We're gonna go just up here, just a little ways further, and dive off down the other side into Cathedral Valley itself. Start working our way all the way back down that way. So much big, gorgeous country. Wow. Cathedral Valley overlook. Not bad at all. See why they call it Cathedral Valley. Stuff's not really even rock. It's got a rock cap on it, but the rest of it's mostly dirt. Really hard, compacted dirt layers. So we're gonna go over here and descend that road we can see right there, and head off down, out and around that, and head back down that way. There's Mount Hillgard right there. There's Thousand Lake right up there, all covered with snow. Just keep going straight here. It's probably not open right now, or at very least a big mess. But if you kept going straight right there, that takes you up out of the national park into the national forest on Thousand Lake Mountain. According to that sign, we got approximately 26 miles to get back to the truck, plus a side trip to the Gypsum Sinkhole and to Temple of the Sun. So all total, I'll probably have like 30, a little over 30 miles. Right now I'm at 32 and a half, 3,400 vertical feet, which is most of the elevation gain of this route, and roughly about half the distance. Alright, time to start our descent down. See how bumpy and rocky this road is. Shouldn't be too bad. These roads are pretty well graded. Definitely see why they call it Cathedral Valley. Those big dirt tower formations definitely bear some semblance to Gothic cathedrals and stuff. So cool, it's just amazing how they've been sculpted by wind and water like that. Check out the Morel cabin, Morel, like that. There it is. Some little corrals right there. Morel Line Cabin, built in the 1920s. Originally stood at Paul Christensen's summer lodging camp on Thousand Lake Mountain, several miles west of here. There it sheltered the Christensen family of 8 during the work season. 1932, cattleman Leslie Morel bought the cabin for use in his livestock operation. He numbered each log and then dismantled the cabin, hauled the pieces down the mountainside in a horse-drawn wagon, and rebuilt the cabin on this site. For the next 40 years, the cabin was used by cowboys when they moved livestock each summer to mountain pasture and each winter to valley rangeland. Returning to the shelter after a day's work, the cowboys would let their horses into the nearby pole corral, wash up, and fix dinner before bunking down. Western hospitality dictated that the cabin be kept furnished and stocked with food, open to all who needed shelter or a meal. The Less's cabin, as it was locally known, was for years a landmark and a meeting place for all who worked in the vicinity. Use of the building ended by 1970 as grazing allotments in the area were restructured. The cabin still serves as a reminder of the area's Old West heritage. There you go. Very cool. sorts of old trinkets there. Shelving with a few cans and bottles. Still got glass in the window. Way cool old cabin. This here to the right is called Walls of Jericho. Turn left here, that takes you up into the Last Chance area, the west part of the Centerville Desert. Got a handful of videos exploring around up in there. Make sure to check out any of those, it'll be linked. Now we're gonna hang a right here, come over to Gypsum Sinkhole. That's pretty cool right over there, great big black igneous dike intruded up into everything else. Way cool looking. That thing's pretty cool looking. Dang, it's a big old hole. Wow. That's a big old sinkhole. Big hole in the ground. Natural one, not a man-made one like I'm used to. Call it the gypsum sinkhole, so I'm guessing it's been formed by gypsum dissolving down underground, which then lets the overlying rock cave in. See all the big fractures and all this up here. Definitely tell it's a very active sinkhole. I'm surprised it don't have like a fence or anything around it. Ready from the side. Alright, back onto the main loop road. Back into a little bit of a head breeze. Continue our way on down valley to the southeast. Whoa, that's some deep sand. I can tell we left the national park boundaries because we're back to the cows. Whew, you guys stink. I like a good combination of a headwind and washboards. It's always fun. Especially washboards on a hardtail, it's really fun. Now we're going to take our last side trip here, go check out Temple of the Sun and Temple of the Moon, and apparently there's something over here called Glass Mountain too. Go check them out. There's Temple of the Sun. That's kind of cool. This glass mountain is this little exposed chunk of gypsum. Very cool. That's quite the big old chunk of exposed gypsum. Got all that gypsum crystal. That looks cool. All the different patterns and stuff, that's all laid together and everything. So cool looking. Seen a lot of gypsum, but never quite seen anything like that. That's pretty amazing. There's Temple of the Moon over there. We'll get over there in a minute. Now we're gonna come over here right past Temple of the Sun, which is this big fella right in front of us. I'm gonna stop here by Temple of the Sun and hang out for a minute since I got all to myself. Have some food, take a break, refill some electrolyte bottles out of my bladder, and we'll be ready to continue on. Definitely see why they call it the temple. I think it's pretty cool. You got a lot more formations all along over there, and then the little Temple of the Moon right there. So cool. Yeah, time to hang out here for a break since I got it all to myself. There's Temple of the Moon right there. Come over here, grab a quick picture, and then be on our way. We'll hit the last 12 or so miles of this ride and be done. Oh, so cool. Temple of the Sun over there. Getting out of the loose sandy valley and back on the hills a little bit where the road surface is a lot smoother and hard packed. Slab of bedrock. And then a very nasty looking steep hill. Short look of that. And a surprisingly rugged terrain on this end of the road. cool stretch of road down through here. Way more rugged than I was expecting this part to be. Alright, we're coming into the end of the loop. Cathedral Valley Loop in a day right there. Not bad. Just barely over 8 hours total out, which, given that I went to all the overlooks, went to the sinkhole, went to Temple of the Sun, Temple of the Moon, plus just breaks and stuff. Not bad to have ripped off right at just barely over 69 miles. Alrighty everyone, there you go, Cathedral Valley Loop in one day. 69.1 miles, 4,800 vertical. Not too bad at all. Very nice day for it. Temperatures were perfect. Bit of a headwind coming down the east side of the loop, but wasn't bad enough to make too big of an issue. The sandy patches and the washboards were a bigger issue than the wind was. Super awesome loop. Been wanting to do that for quite some time and decided I wanted to do it in one shot, and still got in all the overlooks, the sinkhole, the cabin, and the temple. So good to get little side trips in as well. Pretty stoked on how well it worked, having everything on the bike except for the camera. Had the 4 water bottles. I could actually put another water bottle, even a bigger one, down there on the down tube, but didn't need it on this trip. Have food in both of those. Worked just fine, and then just took my regular 14-liter pack with the 3-liter bladder and just bungee corded it on the little rack along with my jacket. Got a little dusty, but actually worked just dandy. Rode along just fine back there, and it felt really nice not having all that weight. The Wasatch peak absolutely crushed it. Notice it does have the braze-ons down here for the rack attachment, but for up here at the top, I actually got an aftermarket seat post clamp right there that not only clamps the seat post here, but has mounting tabs right there for the rack. That worked quite dandy and nice. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed coming along on this grand and marvelous adventure. Check out other videos that will be linked in the cards, especially some of my stuff exploring around up in the Last Chance area just to the north of where we got to today. Some super cool stuff up there. Fascinating, beautiful landscape. So thank you for watching. Leave us a comment and a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you have, thank you so much. Make sure to check out RE Bikes. And like I say, other videos will be linked or elsewhere on the channel. And keep digging up new places to ride and adventure in the great outdoors. And your own power is always the best.